many years ago, we had around 1,500 lakes. Now we are reduced to 200 lakes. Even as simple as our majestic bus stand used to be a lake. We were the first people in Bangalore to create a lake after Kempegowda.
Oh, wow.
Snakes are amazing creatures. Only we've made it like scary. Actually, they're more scared of us. Firstly, people need to know which is venomous, which is not venomous, how snakes behave, because they don't want to be around you.
What's the weirdest thing that you found in a lake while restoring it or like rejuvenating it?
Mainly the biodiversity is like amazing. There are no dengue cases. The more birds coming there. It's clean water. Like at the end of it, we could drink the water from it because it was so clean.
Wow.
Like seeing the caterpillars grow from stage to stage until they pupate, and then once I saw the butterfly coming out of the pod, which is a beautiful sight if you actually get to see it in your life. Because these are plants, they start rapidly spreading across the lake because of the sewage content, and they start absorbing all the oxygen from the water. And once it creates a full blanket, there's no sunlight entering, there's no oxygen, the aquatic life dies, and basically it's a biologically dead lake. There's no use of the lake.
Volunteerism is the voice of people put into action. Out of it, if you mull over it, it's definitely a line which will probably bring out a lot of emotions which has to be put into action. Through action, where you're going to put the action out is eventually going to give an output, healing the world, healing the planet. So when I'm starting my dialogue with few words, with sentences of this emotion, yes, you might have guessed it on Just Curious today. It's a person who has healed the planet through lake restoration, through barren lands being turned into forests, and through NGO Bluedot. A young soul here who's restored close to 14 to 15 lakes and who's been around as an environmentalist for 10 plus years and who's just 30. Here he is on Just Curious. So firstly, Harsha, what's up, dude? What's up, man? How are you? How are you, bro? I don't know how to call you.
Thanks, Rashmi. Thank you so much for having me here. I've known you for quite some time. I've listened to you on the show before,
Right.
and it's surreal that I'm here talking to you right now about the work that I'm doing. So I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me here.
I mean, of course, man. I think I was just discussing this off air. We are all instruments, to put the focus and show the selfless acts done by people like you all to heal the, planet. The reason I kind of coined the word planet doctors or planet healers is because in the kind of world that we are living today, everybody is purpose driven. Everybody is chasing something which is very close to them, to their purpose, to their pleasure, be it materialistic things or stuff which can keep them going. But here, restoration of lakes in Bangalore, barren land to forest is definitely a voice which has been put into action through volunteerism. So firstly, tell me, at the age that you are in, like you're 30 now, when you started this 10 years ago, of course, in your 20s, that's the age wherein, the blood is rushing and, the world is calling and you want to at times, very tough to hold your horses back. And even if you're letting the horses run, the path is very important, right? Yeah. So firstly, how did you land into all of this that you've done today?
Oh, it's not just 10 years ago. It started probably when I was an infant.
Oh, yeah?
Old Bangalore houses used to have a 50-50 ratio house. 50% used to be garden, 50% used to be homes. I come from an area where half the house that we used to have was a garden space. So I'm probably that black sheep in the family because I was the only grandkid that was heavily into plants. My grandparents used to sit in the garden and just keep working on the gardens. The entire area in Sheshadripuram knew that, okay, this house is where these people grow a lot of plants. They used to come for cuttings. They used to come and ask my granny for suggestions on how to grow the plants. And I used to always stick around my granny, and she used to make me repot the pots, plant saplings. It was normal for me, but for if I think of it now, not many kids were into like planting or be fascinated about what's happening in the garden. We used to have a huge garden. There used to be one parijata tree, like a massive parijata tree, and I used to just observe it. The trunk of the tree, the bark of the tree was very unique. It had formed a unique shape. So I used to sit and admire looking at the bark. During my childhood, I also saw sunbirds. So sunbird is a species, a small bird. So they build their nest. So they used to visit the tree very often. And the curious child that I was, I used to observe the male and female used to come to the tree and go very often. Once it started coming to that one particular branch.
Okay.
And it started building its nest. And the shape of the nest is very unique. It's like a chandelier. It's like droops down. The butterfly coming out of the pod, which is a beautiful sight. If you actually get to see it in your life, out and just sit and look at the birds creating that nest. It was so fascinating. So I saw the process from when the birds identified that branch to the part where it built its nest. Then they laid their eggs, the chicks were born, they used to come to and fro to feed the chicks. And eventually I saw them come out of the nest and learn how to fly.
Oh, wow.
So this entire process had left like a huge mark on me. Like even as simple as butterflies coming, laying their eggs, like seeing the caterpillars grow from stage to stage until they pupate. And then once I saw the butterfly coming out of the pod, which is a beautiful sight. If you actually get to see it in your life, it's one of the most amazing sights where, they're breaking out of the cocoon. And they're like pumping whatever fluids into their wings. It's all crumpled and it starts opening up. And then they they learn how to fly and then they fly off. So seeing all of this had somehow left a mark. And my granny always used to say this, that whatever you plant turns out to be fine. They start growing. And like basically she was saying that I have a green thumb. So that was in me for a long time, throughout my school days, throughout my college days. Whenever I had a chance to plant something in my house, it always used to turn out fine, and I thought it was just normal. But until I started listening to other people's story, like, oh, my plant died, I don't know why. I was like, hey, it's simple, this is all you have to do. And over time I realized that it was like a gift from God or my granny, I don't know. Yeah. So just continued in that field, and like one thing led to another. I think during our talk today, we'll probably unfold all those memories.
So this being your formative years, I mean, of course, your first influences, like today's word is influencers, but previously we used to call them gurus, and parents are like the Sanskrit shloka goes, Matra Deva Bhava, Pitur Deva Bhava. That's where all your conditioning, all your seeds are being put. And then eventually some are nurtured and some might die during the journey of life and stuff. So when you saw a background or a home which was giving you all of this as okay, this is our world. What were your dreams as to okay, this is where I come from. What is it that I should do with this? Like, be it in terms of goals or dreams, like a vision that they call. So what was it?
To be very honest with you, as a kid, I had a pretty tough upbringing. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was very poor at academics. Like, people were saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to study well, you need to take up this course. After 10th standard, you need to do this, commerce, science, blah, blah, blah. But as a child, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, because every year during high school, I had to sit down and write my re-exam because I used to fail in in most subjects.
Yeah.
Academics was something that was like, I didn't have it in me to score well. So I was picked on by the teachers, my peers, and I was just like a very demotivated kid because I felt like I'm not excelling in anything. Probably my English teacher used to be like she's probably the only teacher or one of the few teachers who believed that this kid is capable of something. Her name is Vimla Malappa. I'd like to mention her because she was the only teacher who used to, like, when my parents used to come to school, she's the only teacher who used to appreciate me. Like, all the other teachers had only complaints against me. But it was, I didn't know what I wanted to do, honestly. So during I came out of school, somehow managed to pass in my 10th standard.
Which school?
I went to Sindhi High School.
Okay.
And somehow managed to score decent marks to get into this college called Sheshadripuram College. I got into that college, took up commerce. Again, I didn't know why I took up commerce. Probably it was the easiest among all the subjects. So I took up commerce, still had a tough time, but I was able to manage with whatever. Like I was a decent student. I was able to pass my exams. So for my parents, that only was a great thing that, okay, our son is passing in exams now. So dream wise, I didn't know what I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was pass the exams and learn, had freedom. Coming from a CBSE school whose intention was like, okay, you always need to study, academically very intensive, to a college where things were easy. That's when I started exploring the world, started traveling. Whenever I used to get time, go out with friends, go to that hike, this hike. It was fun. I used to go on drives, go on long, journeys. It was pretty fun. So I didn't have a direction on my career. So my dad was like, being a chartered accountant is a good career. Try taking up chartered accountancy. He's like, if you become a chartered accountant, this lifestyle you will get. You'll make this much money. People will look at you like this. You'll be this. You'll have this social status and all of that. Of course, as a kid, who didn't have all of this, looking at this is like a pretty good, title to be a chartered accountant. I started taking up chartered accountancy classes. I don't know why I took it up, but it was fun. But I was not even close to scoring well or even passing these exams. So by end of BCom, I decided that it's not my cup of tea. So then after college, I had to do something for my bread and butter, right? I have to stand on my own feet by getting a job. So I joined Swiggy. Swiggy was a very small company back then. It was when I joined, they were working out of a bungalow in Kormangla. And I gave my interview there and they were like, you're hired. You're I was a sales manager there. It was 40 people in the company when I joined them.
Oh, you're the OG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of all the commerce fest and experience in the commerce side of things in college, I used to be quite open to talk about things, and my teachers called me enterprising, so that stuck in me. And whenever I went out to any college fests in any of the commerce events, I used to win and come back. So
what were the commerce events like
best manager, best marketing expert, all these subjects which were there during accountancy, based on accountancy and all of this. I was mainly the best manager and the HR and marketing side of things. So I could sell really, really well. So whenever I used to go to colleges, we used to have a blast. We used to get at least one or first or second or third prize and come back. So that confidence was in me. So when I went to my interview, I totally killed it. So they didn't even ask me for my degree certificates. So to be honest with you, I still haven't collected my degree certificates. I don't have it. It's been 10 years.
Ooh.
I don't have my degree certificate. So yeah, my parents watching this, they're going to ask me now.
Oh, is this where you've spilled the bean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spilled a lot of tea now.
Okay, it's a tea today. It's not the bean. The Gen Z. Okay.
Spilling tea is like giving gossip. So.
Oh, right.
So yeah, I got my job at Swiggy and I was killing it at the company. I've onboarded a lot of restaurants in Bangalore. It was an addiction almost to sell. It was to onboard, to sell an idea.
How are you doing it? Because everybody will be curious to know the initial struggles of Swiggy, who's a giant today.
Oh, a lot of my relatives and my dad's friends were like, why did you join a startup? They are going to shut down. A lot of companies during that time were actually shutting down. And I was also there thinking that I'll exit because I want to do something on my own. I was for a short stint, let's see how it is. Let's see how a company works, how a startup works. And I joined. But then the company kept growing. By the time I was leaving, it was, I think, 6,000-7,000 people in the organization.
What started as 40?
Yeah.
6,000 in a span of?
In a span of 2 years.
This is in 2000?
2015 to 17.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was amazing. I met a lot of interesting people. I went to different cities to launch Swiggy. Like we went to Delhi, and it was really fun. So all the Tier 1 cities we were working on. But it also I hit a saturation level because I'm not an office going person, nor was I. I felt my purpose was something different. It was very hazy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I wanted to do, but it was very hazy, and I decided to leave.
So what are these red flags, like everybody's journey has its own twists and turns. When you look back, okay, you have a bird eyes view, like you can probably dissect it clearly. But when you're on the other side of the land, like it is usually very uncertain and all of
Yeah.
that, right? So what gave you the strength to say, hey, something is missing, maybe we need to shift the gear?
I know the answer to it now, but back then I saw what I wanted in a distance. It was very hazy.
What
I
did you
was
see?
like what I wanted, like my purpose.
Like
My
what was
purpose. I didn't know what it was. It's very hazy. It's in the distance. I'm running towards it. I'm not getting it.
Okay.
So that was my first. And when you asked me what the sign was, what the red flag was, that is what it is. I'm running towards it. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting that kick. I'm not getting the satisfaction of what I want to do. So I thought it was starting a restaurant. One of my client, I was like, dude, I'm planning to quit the organization. I want to start a fast food joint.
Oh.
I worked in a restaurant for 3 months.
Ah.
I was working as an assistant chef
Oh.
at this restaurant. It was a fast food joint. I used to wake up 4 in the morning, go to the restaurant, like work in the kitchen, understand how recipes work. I told him I want to start a fast food joint, so I need practice. I was like more than happy, like come and started learning South Indian cooking. But at the end of it, due to a bunch of reasons, I didn't get trade license. That area was not appropriate. So I basically threw the cap and I was like, I'm not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, okay, I don't know what, nothing's working out. Like I quit my company. Now this is not happening. And that's when I decided, like one of my friends suggested, she was telling her story about how she's doing wildlife research in this organization in Goa.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, not bad. Okay, tell me more. And then there's like this internship opportunity that's there in Goa. Because for me, wildlife is like anything nature, anything animals. I'm like, I want to hear all about
There's a
it.
spark in your eyes as
Yeah.
you speak. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did like a whole bunch of research and I applied for the internship. I got it and I packed my bags and left to Goa.
Mm-hmm.
When I went there, it was my element. It was like my home turf. I was able to understand everything. Like the people there, people who were facilitating this, I don't think they put much effort into making me understand about things, because I already had an understanding about things, and that was surprising for them and surprising for me. So I got a hold of a lot of things. So
What was happening there? What was the ecosystem there?
yes, so it's an island called Shorao. It's an island. It's a river island. It's close to central Goa. You need to take a ferry to reach this. Like in our schools, in a lot of schools in central syllabus, or all these schools have like this subject where they talk about Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
So Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary is on this island basically. And this organization called Wild Otters was also, their field base was on this island in a remote area. It's a old Portuguese settlement. All these houses are like 100-150 year old Portuguese style homes. Our field base was also like a Portuguese style
Bungalow
house.
okay.
It was amazing. There were a couple of dogs there, and I used to take care of the dogs. And basically, Wild Otters was into otter research.
Right.
In India, we have 3 species of otters: the Eurasian otters, Asian small-clawed otters, and smooth-coated otters. Majority of our work revolved around smooth-coated otters because it's a small fisherman community on Shorao. So, like, there is backwaters.
Mm-hmm.
So, backwaters, and there's something called as a snooze gate system.
What's
So,
that?
snooze gate is nothing but like a gate. When the tides come in, the water comes in and they shut the gate. And when the tide goes out, they open the gate and they collect the fish. Basically, they'll put nets in these pockets where the gates are closed, and they'll get crabs, fish, and a whole bunch of things.
Why
So-
do they do this? Just to get the catch, like.
Yeah, basically snooze gate systems were set up to like trap fish. So when the tides come in, like all the aquatic life comes in, they catch and then they release. So that's how the fisherman community used to function. these otters, smooth-coated otters, they used to go bite the nets, open them, eat the fish, and go. Very smart creatures, okay? But this in turn led to fishermen retaliating. So they used to kill the otters. And otters are like amazing animals. They're very vital for the ecosystem because they kill and eat all the diseased fish or unhealthy fish. They keep the ecosystem very clean. And they're beautiful animals. So we were working on placing camera traps, studying the tide cycles. We were going on the bunds, looking at the recency of when they had come, when they groom. So it's brackish water, right? So they come on the ground and start rolling on the ground to remove all the salt from their coat. So, and people who used to work there used to say that, it's been years and I've only got like 2-3 sightings. But I was there in the first month, I'd got like 6 sightings.
Wow.
Because I don't know, it was lucky or they like me. I don't know. Because they're very, very elusive creatures. They can hear. They can hear well, they can smell really well, they can see really well. So even before you spot them, they would have spotted you and they would have like vanished. So I don't know.
So there you were in the stealth mode trying to...
Yeah. Once I'd like sneaked up on them and I was like sitting behind a rock, just kept inching closer and closer and just observing from the back. So the entire family was just there like chilling and like they were rolling on the ground. And all these memories are like so fresh. Like I'll probably take these memories to my grave because they're so special to me. You
spoke about the camera trap, sorry. These are the terms which we hear usually when it is tiger counting and all of that. So how does it feel to do the camera traps for your otters?
Yeah.
Because these are all marine creatures. Right?
Yeah. So basically these are all bunds made by man.
What's a bund?
Bund is nothing but where there's water, you put like soil and they would make it like a trail. It also separates the water. And it's like a mud thing where there are trees growing on either side. You'd see mangroves grow right on the sides and there'll be a path. So this is for like the fishermen to use and also to block the water and things like that. That's basically a bund. So these otters also make their dens under the bunds, like in the side of the bunds and all of that. So yeah, we used to go on the bunds to get the recency of their scat. Scat is nothing but their poop. So we see how recent it is. It's been 1 day or 2 days, 3 days, write it down. And we see a lot of activity and there's a chance we can place a camera trap. We place a camera trap on the tree or on the rock in such a way that we know that all these otters are coming. We can see if there are any pups, how many adults in this family, things like this. And we'll also get the dates, right? So we carry a GPS system. We mark every time we see something and we write it down in the paper. So we used to do all of that, like a mapping of how their behavior is.
What camera are these?
These are Bushnell. This is the brand of the camera. So Bushnell camera traps, very famous. People across the world use it. So we used to place it on the tree and collect data. So we found some very interesting activities of these otters in the...
What's the funniest you've seen?
Funniest is these dogs. These dogs used to... they had come near the camera trap, near the den. We had placed it near the den itself. So there was one alpha male on one side of the bund and the entire family was on the other side. The other side is where the den is. This side is where the male... the alpha male, alpha female, and its family is here near the den. So these dogs come, they see the otter and they're barking. And we have the camera trap faced this side. And we can see the dogs barking at it. So the alpha male is like screaming and like one point it gives a squeal. It does a particular way it squeals and the entire otter family comes from this side, starts attacking the dog. The dogs go running and then the male otter comes and they go back in.
Crazy.
So, and we found like some pretty disgusting sights also. So villagers, they come and they defecate outside, right? So once we found a fisherman come and poop right in front of the camera.
What did you sign up for?
Oh yeah, that's what I used to ask myself sometimes, but fun.
Okay.
Right in front of the camera. So
sorry, I can't remove that memory from your mind, but
it's called,
yeah. Interesting. Funny.
But I had like a good 2 years there. Like I learned a lot of wildlife related stuff. All this while I used to watch Discovery, Nat Geo, Animal Planet, and be fascinated. And now being on field doing these things,
Wow.
I was fascinated. But to be honest, wildlife conservation in India is still new, and you don't get paid much.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to take a tough call that the dream that I have maybe needs money.
Mm.
So I decided to back off. They offered me a full-time job, but I couldn't take it up and I came back.
Radha by Rapid Rashmi. It's my very own sari brand, born from stories, culture, and the love we all share for the timeless drapes. Sari handpicked with care, every color chosen with emotion, every collection is crafted for women who wants credibility, affordability, and absolute uniqueness. So no monies were paid.
No, like it was like for like as a support staff I was getting a little, but it was not enough to fulfill
That
my
too,
lifestyle.
after coming out of Swiggy, having a lifestyle plus.
Yeah, I was basically running on my savings. That's all. Like on the runway that I had created from Swiggy, I was basically using that. But I was having a great time. There's not much I was spending there anyway because the food was taken care of, shelter was taken care of, but that's about it. But anyway, I decided to like let go of this to pursue something where I would make a lot of money was the thought back then, because I was just like 23, 24-ish. So I came back, and of course parents were also asking, what are you doing? Like you're changing so many things, you're being fickle minded, what do you want to do? You're living in a society, you're not a jungle boy. So I was like, yeah, I thought it made sense, and I came back, tried to start a logistics business. Didn't work out because it needed a lot of investment. We literally bought an auto, and we had this cool idea of having this guy who's dressed like a pilot, who's like basically before Porter started, we had that idea, but we didn't have the experience. I didn't come from a background where I could raise funds and VC, like having a VC network. All of that was not there. So we decided to shut that. Explored a few other businesses like restaurant packaging. Since I was working at Swiggy, I thought I could use my contacts and sell packaging material. Did the Adike Tatte business for a while, but nothing was giving me that kick of like, okay, this is something that I would do for the rest of my life. Then I decided to like take a break. I was not able to stick on to one thing. I don't know if it was lack of experience or things are not working out, or do I really from the bottom of my heart love what I'm doing. The one point came where I was questioning that. So I told my parents that, you know what, I need a break. I have to really thank my parents, because they never pushed me to do anything. Even like when they told me do CA, it was never force. It was an option. It was an option. So even when I said I want to take a break, I want to figure things out, they were like, okay, do whatever you want, whatever it takes. So that if I'm where I am right now, I have to first people I would give credits is my parents, because of the freedom that they gave me and they believed in me.
And also you didn't have the gun pointing towards your towards you, saying that you have to put the money on the table or take care of the house.
Never. They never asked me for money. They've never asked me for any kind of support. They're like, it's your life, you live your life. We're not going to depend on you. You do whatever it takes to be successful. So during that 1 year, one of my neighbor, since we are known as the plants people, he asked me if I could help him out with his garden. So I was like, okay, cool. Anyway, I have time. I went, and the work went on for a couple of days, and he offered to pay me for it. This is new. This is nice. So I got paid for something I love doing. That's when I went to Lalbagh, did a landscaping course. I was like, this is what I'm going to pursue.
Nice.
So that's when I started Green Garage. So
what's that?
Green Garage is a landscaping company where we set up garden spaces. So we've set up garden spaces in different locations, different pubs, offices. We also set up garden at Sudhamam's house, Sudhamurthi's house. We've done pretty interesting stuff throughout. But honestly, even that work was not fulfilling. So that's when I was like, something's wrong. I'm not liking anything that I'm doing. but there is something that's missing.
Mm.
Because I'm this guy who, if he wants something, I do anything, try different things to make sure I get it. Like go the distance, take whatever it takes to do whatever it takes to get what I want. So during this time, it had already been like 3 years since I started Green Garage, and
It was running fine.
it was running amazing. I was making a lot of money. It was a successful, flourishing business. But something was missing. I was not happy. I was also getting paid a lot in Swiggy, but still I was like, that was not my motivation.
I mean, who are you, dude? Like, usually people start convincing themselves, like, Acha, this is a comfort zone that I'm in. This is taking care of my bills. This is giving me a sense of freedom, because money can buy a lot of things. Yes, now it is true that, money can't give you everything, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to something is missing, yes, I agree. But did you have it in you, like, to walk out of something, to explore the unknown?
See, even through the initial parts of my childhood, like our family was in extreme financial crunch. Like, we had our tough times. There were times where I couldn't afford to eat what I wanted to eat, or buy clothes when I wanted to buy clothes, or all of that. I mean, that's a whole different thing altogether. Of course, money was like one of the main priorities. But if I see the pattern of like Swiggy, I was earning well, but that was not my motivation. Like I used to hit incentives every month. I was probably one of the highest to get incentives, like because I was in a sales job. Or even Green Garage was working amazing. Like every month we were clocking like insane amount of revenue, but somehow I was not very like happy at the end of it.
So by now you figured it's not the money.
Yeah.
It's like the purpose, like they say, purpose is what gets you out of the bed in the morning, but passion is what that'll never let you sleep in the night.
Yeah, but the funny thing was when I quit, I mean, when I was in Wild Daughters, the reason I quit was for money. But when I was making money, I was like, I'm not happy with this. So something there's a big question mark, honestly, like what's happening. But the turning point was probably during COVID. Everything shut, our business shut. We were still paying our employees.
This is the Green Garage you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is during the lockdown. Things went south. But towards when the lockdown was announced, I was just working out, taking care of my garden, and just like spending time with the garden. So that's mainly what I was doing. But of course, like me being me, I have energy 24/7, and so I was like, I didn't have places to expend this energy. That's when I was like, okay, let's do something. Okay, the world is in a dark place right now, let's lighten it up by doing something. So I decided, okay, let's go plant trees. I've never done this before. I always wanted to do it. Let's go plant trees. So I took this idea to social media, and was like, hey, I want to plant 100 trees. I have some land in Bangalore University. I'd spoken to some people there at the university saying that they said we have area for 500 trees. So I was like, okay, we'll raise funds for 100 trees and see how it goes. So on social media, we made one nice poster, and we want to plant 100 trees. This is the payment gateway. We had a Razorpay account. We put it in our bio, and I was like, okay, let's who wants to come and be part of this? It just costs like 100 rupees for a tree. Like whoever wants to contribute. We put it up. That morning we went to sleep, and next morning I woke up and we had raised enough funds for 500 trees.
Oh wow.
500 trees overnight. That was like, I think probably the turning point, saying that people know the things that I do and they believe in me, and this is something that we can definitely pull off. And then we went ahead and planted the 500 trees. We had a whole bunch of volunteers. I love that feeling when people came together and we planted those trees. Something that I thought was just a dream. When we planted those 500 trees, the kick that I got, very addictive. Very addictive. And that's when I thought that, okay, this is something very interesting. I should do more of it. So that was my turning point, if you ask me.
Somebody who's seen so much by then, like you switched the gears like enough number of times, figured what does a purpose do to you, what does money money can give you. And with all of this coming to a point wherein there is something which is touching your heart, giving you the sense of purpose, also giving money.
Decent. I'm able to live a certain lifestyle.
Hmm?
I'm a very minimalist person.
Hmm.
I like to travel. I like to spend time at the farm. It's able to give me all the things that I need. So I'm happy.
So through this, how did you get the name Muddy Fingers?
I was just discussing with a friend. It was Harsha_Tej before. And I was like, it's boring. Can we put something that represents me? So my friend and I were. So she was like, "Hey, you should try muddy feet, muddy hands." And I was like, "Kayal kaise rehte?" Like I have like soil on my fingers. So we both were like, you muddy fingers sounds nice. We'll see how it works." And it just picked up, and like it was muddy fingers before you knew it. And now like everybody just knows me. I walk into a place and they're like, "Hey, you're that muddy fingers dude, right?" So it's just like caught on from then. Yeah.
Wow. So from there, this is what, 2000?
Which one?
21? I mean, post-COVID, during
Yeah.
COVID, you've
Yeah.
planted those first 500 trees.
Yeah.
And after that is where you got a bridge into, after that, how did you land into lake restoration and also turning the barren land into forest and mangroves and all of that?
Okay, so I met like very like-minded people.
Who are these?
So first we met. We all know Samyukta Hornad.
Yes.
So she had come up with this idea that we'll get all like people with green backgrounds to come be part of group of people, change makers, to do something. Through that I met like similar minded people.
Mm-hmm.
So I met the person who I used to work with the previous organization. It's called Hands on CSR. There we were doing a lot of tree planting drives. It's an NGO as well, so we were doing tree planting drives, we were doing lake restorations, and one thing later, it was a small organization when I joined, and then it just kept growing bigger. And before I knew it, we had already like restored like about 15 lakes and across Karnataka. And so the feather on my hat, which I'll again take to my grave, is we created a lake after Kempegowda. We were the first people in Bangalore to create a lake after Kempegowda.
Oh, wow.
And,
like a pause there.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, Bangalore, boasts 1,000 plus lakes. Today, I think there are close to 200 plus lakes. Dried up 800 lakes, and hence today, every lake being restored or, new lake being created is a big deal. And while I was scrolling through your Insta, I think you stumbled upon a lake. There's a word you coined.
Aquifer?
Yeah.
The shallow aquifer?
Yeah, shallow aquifer. What's that?
So this is where the lake that we created. It's on MG Road.
Lake in MG Road, heart of Bangalore.
Yeah, open Google Maps, you'll see our lake.
Oh, wow.
So basically, it's inside the army campus, 515 workshop. So through contacts, we were able to meet people there who are running the space, and we met the brigadier there, Sir R.S. Budwar. He showed us the land. There was just like a lot of debris, mud, slush, lot of sewage coming. Like people from the communities on the other side had dumped a lot of garbage, and it was just like a site of like sludge. I even got dengue from there when we went for a site visit. I got bitten by mosquitoes and I fell sick. And he had also mentioned that a lot of the dengue cases are increasing.
Mm-hmm.
So that place saw potential because it was at the lowest point. There are like around 300 acres around where the rain falls and the water collects and comes through this area. So that's where we saw the potential that this could be a lake. And we got our investors, 314 Capital, which is run by Mohandas Pai's son. So Sir's son is Siddharth Pai, and we connected, and he was like, we would like to fund a project that you would suggest. And we took this project to him, and he was more than happy to fund this. So we started removing all the garbage, slush, and all that nonsense. A lot of debris were there.
How many days?
It took us about 2 to 3 months to bring it up to shape.
Firstly, I think I want to get into the fundamentals of what it takes to restore a lake.
Mm-hmm.
So before I get in, what's an aquifer? Aquifer?
Aquifer.
Aquifer. Okay.
So you might have heard of this term groundwater, water table.
Yeah.
So basically, when we dig a borewell, we have to go to like around 400, 500 feet to get water, or 200 feet, depends on the area. Here, so all these are aquifers, the cracks in the earth's surface where the water flows or water is collected, that is called an aquifer. So when we started digging and started removing all the sludge and the debris, in 4 feet we dug and there's water oozing out.
4 feet.
Yeah, we thought it was, we ruptured some BWSSB pipe or something. So we had to halt work and so like we halted work, and then we got like geologists and people who study like groundwater, and they said we've actually hit a shallow aquifer.
Oh,
So that was amazing because that is a good sign for a lake to sustain.
very nice.
Yeah.
So now 2-3 months of digging it, and what's the kind of monies usually is required to restore a lake like of this kind of a project?
So this was around 70 to 80 lakhs to it was a 10-acre lake that we created.
Oh, wow.
It's not a lake restoration. We actually created this lake.
Right?
Yeah. This is the first time and probably the only time in my life that I would get a chance to do something like this.
Beautiful.
So
how did you identify it? Like, I mean, apart from all the other signs that you just mentioned, like, there's a low point and all the water was getting collected. Is there any other tool or any other
satellite data, like over the years, but we never saw water there. But they kept saying that the water comes and exits. There was a nala, that like where the excess water used to leave. But we did some research around, asked people who stay there for 40-50 years. They said there was never a water body here. And we using our instincts, like it just came to us that we could probably create a lake here. We started digging because we knew that the water comes here. So if we create space, water holding capacity, can hold water. And then we also hit the shallow aquifer, which was an added bonus.
Right.
And we had it.
Amazing. So today, can the general public go and visit it? No,
it's inside the army campus, but now birds visit. So Alsur Lake is very close by, so whatever birds go there come here, and it's become an amazing biodiversity hotspot in that area. It's also Bangalore's highest lake. So yeah,
very nice. So indirectly we are reaping the benefits of it, like.
Yes. I'm sure the groundwater around that area, water table would have definitely benefited, but mainly the biodiversity is like amazing. There are no dengue cases. The more birds coming there, so it's clean water. Like at the end of it, we could drink the water from it because it was so clean.
Wow. So tell me one thing, while I was reading about lakes, I mean, it also came, online there were mentions of, you have a lake, it's like having a nature's AC.
Yeah.
So help us understand what happens, like, how can one lake really change the climate around or in the neighborhood, like?
Yeah. So basically, lakes are formed at the lowest region because gravity just comes to the lowest point, and it's all porous around, and there are trees around. So having a lake ecosystem is like it just drops the temperature because there's so much water and moisture around it, and the wind is blowing. So the climatic conditions generally low. If you walk outside and sit under a tree, the climate, like the weather, the temperature is at least a degree lower. So if you are in a good lake atmosphere, easily 1 to 2 degrees it'll be lower.
Beautiful. So today, study by Karnataka State Pollution Control Board, they've assessed 110 lakes, which is in BBMP and Panchayat limits, and there are categories like class D, E, some which is like the water not fit for consumption after treatment and all of that. So Since you're into it, can you educate us more as to, how are these lakes created and what happens basically?
So, as you were mentioning, right, like we had around back in many years ago, we had around 1,500 lakes. Now we are reduced to 200 lakes. Even as simple as our Majestic bus stand used to be a lake, right? So everything's like,
Kempabudi Kere,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So everything. So basically, lakes are all mostly man-made. We used to have a lot of streams passing. Like in Bangalore, we had like the 3 divisions, like the Hebbal side. There used to be a stream, the watershed basically. We have KC Valley and the Vrishabhavati. So
That's a Kengeri.
these three were the main like channels or streams that you could call, and people used to build bunds. I was telling you about what bunds are, right? So you katte, in Kannada we call it katte, and they used to build these bunds and like start storing the water, stopping the water. That's what Kempegowda was doing. His vision of having a city is like around water. Most cities in the world are all waterfront. They have water. Water is their main thing. Even Indus Valley civilization built their civilization in front of a river, right? Because water is the most important thing.
Where there is water, there is life, there is an ecosystem.
Yes.
To what it is, an IT belt today, where there is an IT belt, there is a... Okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah. So these bunds were built and the lakes were formed. So lakes are all interconnected. So one lake, if it fills up, in Kannada we call it Kodi. In English it's called waste weir. Like where the water fills up and it has to go after a breaking point, it spills over and goes into the next lake. So because of all these undulations across the city, these are all like cascading lakes. Like when one lake fills up, it passes its water onto the next lake. When it passes from one lake to the other, there's the canal system. In Kannada, we call it Rajakalve. You would have heard these words, right? Like it's familiar.
Right.
So basically, Rajakalve is nothing but natural canal systems where water flows from one lake to the other.
Which has become a nala today. Wherein
Exactly. All these nalas are basically Rajakalves where fresh water is supposed to be running, but
crazy.
because of uncontrollable population and bad city planning in the past, we are at a problem where water is not seeping down. There's sewage coming into these Rajakalves, and then these Rajakalves are bringing the sewage back to the lakes. It's just a horrible state of affairs. The current government, or like the governments like in the recent past, have been working really hard to like turn things around, but I feel the damage is so great that it is very difficult even for authorities to like come and actually help. I mean, there are steps being taken. There are like few...
What are the
like
steps usually like?
Like there's this thing called wet weather flow, dry weather flow, and only when there's wet weather flow, when the water levels increase during the rains, only the diluted water goes into the lakes. So these kind of like engineering ideas have been implemented, but still needs a lot of work. So
what can be a like a paradigm shift in like, okay, hey, look, this is what is going to solve it.
Solve what?
The Kaluve, the Nala issue.
The water scarcity issue, or what are you talking about?
The Nalas basically now.
So a lot of encroachment has happened.
All
these powerful people, I'm going to call it as powerful people, have built their homes, their properties on these Rajakalves. These are, you can still get information about where the Rajakalves existed because it was all mapped before. And indiscriminately, if we can remove all these settlements and constructions over these stormwater drains or Rajakalves, it can be resolved. One. And second thing is having sewage treatment plants, having like effective throughout the day functioning sewage treatment plants can like definitely improve, because sewage will enter the sewage treatment plant and only the treated water will enter the nalas. If we can do this in every area, I think we have enough money to, our government has enough money to execute this. So if we can...
Are there enough treatment plants every area? Has it? No.
Some areas don't even have it. So that's the problem. As Bangalore is continuing to grow, these things need to be planned in advance and set up. So that will definitely help.
These two to start with. All right. So coming back to the... Firstly, thanks for educating us on understanding lakes better. It shouldn't just be a tourism spot like, hey, hi, lake, I went boating or whatever. So now, how do we understand the categorization of lakes? Like, what's A, B? Because I just read about D and E, which is not suitable for consumption. Usually, how is the categorization of lakes today? And since you have restored 14, 15 lakes, how do you know, okay, now these are the lakes which needs attention from this to that?
So basically, I don't know the categorization of A, B, C, D, but how we assess a lake is like how much pollution is there. Is it just a silt-filled lake or sewage-filled lake? If it's just silt-filled, that means the water holding capacity of the lake has reduced. Usually, lakes are almost like a ball shape, right? And water holds because of the depression. Now, because of unethical farming practices or people just dumping debris and things like that, these ball-shaped lakes start becoming flatter and flatter because all the soil is coming in. When it rains, the top layer of soil comes in and starts filling up. So you would have seen during the summers, people are playing cricket on the lake bed. You would have seen these sites, right? They're playing football, cricket and all because it's almost become flat.
Oh.
So silt has come and filled. Like if you find a ball and put sand in that bowl and put water, will the water hold in the bowl? No, because of the sand, right? So we remove all the silt, dump it out, create wetlands where the inlets are, make sure the silt doesn't come. It's like a silt trap. So basically we remove all the silt. In Kannada we call it hul tegiyodu. Like we remove all the silt and like make sure that the water retention, water holding capacity is restored. So that is one way of doing it.
How often should one do this? Like this?
No, once you create a good functioning silt trap or wetland, it will last you like for years, like 50, 60 years.
Wow.
So if we can technically restore it, make sure that the inlets are not carrying sewage, then we are sorted.
You spoke about how farming illegal practices can also change the
Not
shape
illegal,
of the lake.
unethical.
What is that?
So when they till the soil, right? They till the soil and make sure that the soil is not eroded. So basically when they put the plow and when it rains, they should make sure they create like their own bunds to make sure that the silt or the soil is not exiting into the lake.
Small things, right?
Small
Little
things. Yeah.
Interesting. Fine. So now it's the silt and it is the sewage.
So sewage also we see if there's already a lot of sewage that has come in, we'll have to desilt it, desludge it. So we have to remove all the all the heavy particles, the biomass, like whatever waste we are like in the form of sewage when it enters, all the heavy particles start settling down. Basically it has to decompose, right? But there is no chance for it to decompose because the oxygen saturation level is very low because all the nitrates and the phosphates they've really polluted the water, and it's an anaerobic state. For things to decompose, you need oxygen and sunlight, the atmospheric conditions, but because it's underwater, it doesn't decompose, and when that happens, the lake is slowly dying. So when there's sewage coming into the water, there are nutrients. Basically, you would have seen these plants floating on the water. You'd be like, hey, wow, such a beautiful lake. But it's actually a lake that's dying because water hyacinth and water alligators, these are plants. They start rapidly spreading across the lake because of the sewage content, and they start absorbing all the oxygen from the water. And once it creates a full blanket, there's no sunlight entering, there's no oxygen, the aquatic life dies, and basically it's a biologically dead lake. There's no use of the lake and there's no water percolating into the ground.
Right. So what's with the lotus then? Because at times we glorify, oh wow, lake with the lotus. Lotus is good.
Lotus is a good sign.
Okay.
Lotus is definitely a good sign, but these water hyacinth and water alligators, these like plants are like a bad sign that there's sewage in your water.
Next time when I'm surpassing a lake,
don't get your hopes. It's a beautiful lake. I actually feel bad that it's lake that's dying.
See, one thing is understanding all of it. Second is at times, today's digitally active world. At times, these are all stories, at times it becomes a motivational story or like a unsung hero story. But how do we, motivate our, laymen to do something about this,
Okay. When it comes to lakes or water crisis?
Lakes, which water crisis, yes, we will now
Okay.
touch it later.
So basically, one is like to keep a vigilant eye. Having a community around your lake is absolutely vital, because when community comes together, you're a force to be reckoned with. Because you are the guards of the lake. If something bad's happening, you have complete ownership to stop people from doing it. It could be throwing garbage, or it could be like, people encroaching into the lake land. All of this is very vital to have a community around.
So the biggest threat is today garbage and encroachment
Yes,
for the lake. These are the
sewage, garbage, and encroachment, and cutting of trees, of course.
So one is keep an eye, but how do we? How do we enable our janta ki? No, dude, it's also your responsibility.
Yeah.
It's not just a place where you just take a walk in the lake or park, but
Yeah.
how do we bring in the responsibility, which is like pricking them day in and day out, like saying, hey, listen, that's my society, that's my lake, and I have to be responsible. Do you think it is reducing today, like the ownership?
The classic example is Hyderabad University.
Right.
Like how people came in and what was theirs, somebody else is taking it away, and how they all protested and got a whole control of the situation, and how they stopped the development in the university is like the best example I could give of a community approach. When there's a community protecting something, nothing can like go against it. So I would suggest, if we have to retain whatever we have from the bad elements, have a community around it. Have your friends, family, visit the place often, create a club, whatever it takes, like create a welfare association or any of these to protect your surroundings. It could be the trees, or it could be the lake. Yeah.
Like I saw a very interesting thing about what motivation is and what motivation is and what discipline is. See, motivation is like your electricity, and your discipline is like the UPS which is backing it up. Like suddenly if the power goes off, that's your motivation. Suddenly one day you get it, and then some days it might not be there. But discipline is like your UPS. Even when the power goes, that is now holding you. Now if I have to turn this in the lens of community service and then people trying to do something back to the society, what is discipline here? How can we get that thing for them?
See, if you're walking in the lake, like you take evening walks in your lake, and now suddenly somebody's come and dumped garbage in front of the path, you are annoyed, right? So you have to make sure that you create a system where you ask, or you keep people vigilant about, you tell your friends and surroundings that someone's dumping garbage here, so we have to keep an eye out and catch this person and educate them. Things like this. So when you have an association, you give people roles, you give people ownership of the area. So when you get ownership, you're more responsible. Like when some illegal or unlawful activities are happening, because you have ownership of this community, you will go and stop it, you will go and fight it. So if anything is going against your lake or your surroundings, you're like fully pumped to like protect it, because you have the power to, because you have a community backing you. You know that you're not doing this alone, you're not fighting this alone, you have a community with you who's fighting it. So that way, having communities around lakes, I feel, is extremely important.
So you think, do you know of enough communities in Bangalore today who are protecting lakes, or purpose-driven groups?
Yeah.
Like one of it is what your NGO represents, right?
Yeah.
So anybody pan India, pan Bangalore can join you all?
Yeah, of course.
How is it to like be around this NGO?
So we go out on cleanup drives, we go on planting drives around the lake, we do a bunch of things, but we also support like other organizations who are also into like similar space, because we need each other. We are not competition to each other. We need more people in this space, so we encourage more people to come. Some people who are unable to join our organization because the distance, we tell them on how they could create their own community and start something on their own.
How to create a community?
Get people together, start on an idea. Start by just doing a simple cleanup drive around your lake, or if there's some space around the lake, take permissions and plant a tree. Like it could be as simple as that. That too is probably the seed of okay, you plant a tree, you clean the lake. Okay, what next? Okay, let's do something else next. Let's plant these grasses, or let's put a security person there. Will pull in money and probably make a fence, or paint the fence, or beautify the space. Once you start taking up initiatives, it's just a cascading effect. It starts like building, and next thing you know, you have like you're fully invested in the lake.
And that's how you get in, and then once the bug bites you, there is no looking back.
Yeah, there's no going back. Yeah, definitely.
So talking about restoration of lake, how long does it usually take today? What's the latest lake that you've restored, like in Bangalore?
Right now we are rejuvenating a lake in South Bangalore, of which I can't name yet, but we are rejuvenating it using like our age-old science of using EM. It's called effective microorganisms, which eats up the bad bacteria, algae. So there is sewage in the water, so the EM solution basically eats up all the nutrients that I was telling you, which comes from sewage, and they also dissolve the sludge that is in an anaerobic state. So this doesn't need desludging, basically using EM solution. So we are working on this. We've got like permissions, and it's like it's still hush hush. We want to show it once it's all done and presented. So we are working on this lake in South Bangalore right now.
So what's the difference between rejuvenating a lake and restoring?
So I'll give you in simple terms. Restoring is something where we change a lot of things around the lake, physical aspects of the lake. Rejuvenating is enhancing the lake to its original form. So it's like, it could be like treating your water or strengthening the bund, or it could be any of those aspects to bring it back to its like former glory. So yeah.
What's the weirdest thing that you found in a lake while restoring it or like rejuvenating it?
So we had like a bunch of, I would say it's weird, but it's a fascinating moment where there are a lot of garbage and twigs and stuff which in a lake where we were restoring, and when we were moving it, we saw hundreds of snakes come out of it. So that was an amazing sight.
Amazing?
So, yeah. I love wildlife, right? Like I was like snakes all around me, which was amazing. So like 2-3 species of snakes, water snakes. So it was amazing. So basically we saw that and we didn't want to disturb. So we just let all of them pass over a couple of days. So that was like probably the most interesting.
How many snakes? Like what? Like for you, it's like a flower, like, oh wow, snake, because you love them.
Because I feel snakes are amazing creatures. Only we've made it like scary. Actually, they're more scared of us. Firstly, people need to know which is venomous, which is not venomous, how snakes behave, because they don't want to be around you. You happen to be there in their space, but they really don't want to do anything with you. They don't want anything to they want to be as far away from humans as possible, because they want to mind their own business, but we make it a business to like mind. So that's where all these snake bites and like all these things happen, but mostly like harmless creatures. They just want to be on their own.
I feel our community is very like we're not literate enough to handle a snake.
Yes.
Since you've been around, what's your word of advice for people to handle snakes? Like suddenly they stumble upon a snake. See, the sight of it itself is making them uncomfortable. It's really a long shot that one should try testing is it a venomous or non-venomous. So like for beginners.
So first things first, don't do anything. Stay away. Call a snake rescuer, because the snake rescuer knows which species it is, how to handle it and stuff.
Right.
The people who know it, they would probably not freak out, because they already know the subject in depth. Like, okay, it's a non-venomous snake, it's a venomous snake. They would not do anything. But people who don't know, you can just stay away. Call a snake rescuer. Every area has like a snake rescuer.
Any numbers that you would like to give out?
Probably at the end of this podcast.
We'll put it on the screen. This is the number. Okay.
Yeah, every area has it. Like if you can search,
I can go Google.
Yeah, or even if you call one snake rescue, you'll be like, that area. Okay, this guy is there. This person's there. He'll come.
Cool.
Rescue. So yeah, like some people just look at the snake, or they're like, a snake, whack it and then kill it. They're probably even just a non-venomous snake. It's just minding its business. It's going in the farm, in the garden, they just whack it and kill it for no reason. But snakes are like one of the indicators that you're in a healthy ecosystem, because the entire food chain is there. They reduce the rat population heavily, and they keep the ecosystem in check. So snakes are absolutely vital for our ecosystem. So don't kill snakes.
I have a genuine question here. See, not everybody is comfortable with the sight of a snake. How do we encourage them to, I don't know, should I ask how to get comfortable with the sight of snake? Because a lot of them can't even take a look at a snake's photo. Like, or forget, they can't even take a look at the photo. Like, if something comes around you, like, you will freak out, right?
Yeah, I think it's also a lot of conditioning from our elders, saying that, oh, snake, they'll remember you, they'll come chasing, they'll come and bite you.
Or it's like, don't go near it.
Yeah, don't go near it is okay. First is breathe. Just like if you see a snake, don't freak out and go run over it or run. Like, just like calm down. It's okay. It's not there to get you. So it's like it's on its own. So you just calm down first, because snakes, they like to save their venom for its prey. They don't like to waste it on humans. Most of the times when snakes bite you, it's probably a dry bite. It would have not even used its venom. It's like a defense. It's like giving you a warning. So even if it's a venomous snake, the chances are like it's not even like giving you its venom, because venom is very precious and they like to save it for their prey because they need food. So don't be afraid. Even if they're around you, just like step out, give them space, and then call the rescuer. That's all I could say.
If you're freaking out, like, should we say box breathing or just sit, drink water, or like step away? I don't know what else to add.
Step away. That's all I could say. Just step away, give it space, and let the rescuers do their job.
This episode's desert partner is Polar Bear. Polar Bear, the ice cream Sunday zone. Polar Bear is now present in 160 outlets, 30 cities, and in 5 states. If you're a vegetarian, that too 100% vegetarian, Polar Bear is for you. The menu has 40 plus ice cream sundaes, and all the ice creams are made from pure milk. What are you waiting for? Visit and keep sharing the Sunday love.
If you can leave Bangalore right now, leave, because the next 10-15 years, if it's going at this progress, if it's progressing like this, we will not have any water left unless we take some drastic, radical measures to actually start saving. And they'll be like, what for me? Somebody else will be doing. I'll be okay. It's okay. This is the mindset of our people. Until it really comes and bites them, they will not understand. I think that's the way humans work.
Society, I think today we have your rainwater harvesting thing.
So this is what at Bluedot, what we are doing is making sustainability cool. We have an anthem. So our team members Gubi and Saroj Kashyap and John on the beat, we've created an anthem for people to be part of, to make it cool. Wow, I love my teammates. It's so non-transactional, and everyone is so driven, and we have a cool team of advisory board members.